She talks. She listens. She cares. She's Joyce Oglesby. In today's ever-changing world, Joyce takes on the hottest issues. She fights for what's right in America.
I wanna leave a legacy. How will they remember me?
Just Ask Joyce is brought to you by Guaranteed Total Construction, Window World, Nan's and Crafts Florists, Squire Boone Caverns, and About Face Spa and Salon. Now, just ask Joyce.
And leave that kind of legacy.
And welcome to Just Ask Joyce. I am Joyce Oglesby, your Family Life Fix-It Pro, getting you fit for life and love today and every day. I want to welcome you to the show. If you've never watched me before, don't miss another episode. If you have missed an episode, you can always go to my website, justaskjoyce.com, and catch those there, if you will. It is a great, exciting time in the Kentuckiana area this week. Of course, we have Derby right on the horizon. It's going to be just coming up really shortly. And of course, on the horizon, Mother's Day. So I'm going to, if you don't mind, dedicate this show to moms everywhere. And you'll understand why, because, you know, I think all moms are unique, and we're going to see a little bit, a preview about just how unique they are. But also, I want to just remind you, we're going to have an email coming up about two siblings who are fighting, and it is distressing a mom. So we'll talk about that. But then I want to go ahead and just show you the quote for the day, because, and I'll show it again at the end of the show like I normally do. But I want you to see how it weaves into just what I'm going to discuss with you today about mothers. Joyce's quote for the day: "Mother is a treasure we rediscover when her true value is revealed through the maps of time." Isn't that true? Isn't that just true? We don't always understand the value of a mom until we are in our prime years ourselves. And sometimes it's when we lose our mom that we discover just how valuable she was. Now, many of you in the audience today have already lost your mom. I'm one of those people. My mom has been with the Lord now for several years. It was a sad time. I know that it probably is for you as well. And Mother's Day is always just not the same, is it? But if you have a mother alive, I hope that you will honor her this Mother's Day. And if you're a little bit of estranged from your mom, I pray that you will reconsider how you're going to address this Mother's Day. Let me just share a little bit about my mom with you, if you will indulge me. Now, my seven siblings called Mama, but I called her Mother. I was the only one that adopted that. And she told me that I had read a book in first grade about mother, and from that point on, I called her Mother. I don't remember that, but she does, and I of course, I love the idea that I was kind of the one who did. But I always called her Mother. Now, Mother and I didn't always see eye to eye. In fact, we had some very turbulent years, very turbulent. She wasn't a bad mother. I wasn't a bad kid. Life was just bad for us. We lived on a farm, and of course, she lived with my dad, her husband, and I call him the AAA dad: angry, alcoholic, and abusive. And I probably could call him a quad A dad because he was also an adulterer. He cheated on my mom an awful lot, as long as I can remember, and I understand from stories 2 weeks after they got married. And when they divorced, he was still cheating on her. So you can imagine the frustration that built up within my mom, just having all of those issues, along with farm life, a very heavy, I mean, listen, farm life is exhausting. If you've ever lived on a farm, you know. If you haven't, then trust me, it is exhausting for anyone. But she had a family of 10 with all the demands, and all the kids were just like stepping stones. We were, you know, there were maybe 18 months between some of us, and some of us only a year. So she had a big family very quickly, a lot of demands. Now, because of everything, all the dynamics in the family, she kind of took it out on who she could. When she couldn't beat up my 6'2" dad, and you know, she was a little 5'2" frame woman, My dad was too busy beating her up, but she could never punch him out, of course. But she would sometimes take her frustrations out on me. And we had some memories that I have shared on my radio show, if you've ever listened to that, or in my book. Getting Past the Past is my story and how I overcame an abusive childhood. But the one thing that I struggled with my mother throughout the years was the fact that, you know, at 5 years old, she took me to the doctor to find out what was going on with me, and I was being molested. And he told her, "Lola, someone is hurting your little girl and it needs to stop." And I could never understand why it didn't. And so I struggled with that for many years. But what I did do anyway was try to develop a relationship with my mother. I so desperately wanted to be loved. I so desperately wanted to be accepted by her. Doesn't every child? Of course we do. And so that was a battle within me and my heart all of my childhood years. I thought that maybe I would come to understand just why, you know, she didn't protect me in that way that I felt like she should have. And I thought when I married Webby and we had children that maybe once I had kids I would understand better, but I didn't. I was then a mother and I understood less why she didn't protect me, because believe me, I would go to the cross for my kids. And so it was a struggle. Now, after much prayer and fasting and a lot of love, an abundance of love from, you know, my kids and my husband, and of course, you know, through my love for Jesus Christ, I came to understand exactly what my mother was going through. It took a lot of years for me to get to that, a lot of years. But I did, and I was so excited to finally get there, to that understanding. And what was that point? And we talked about it on my last show, forgiveness. It was forgiveness. You know, I had to forgive myself for distancing myself from my family because of some of the atrocities that I had experienced as a young girl. But once I did forgive myself for something that I couldn't control, but I could control the distancing, then it became easier for me to forgive them for things that had happened to me as a young girl. And once I did that and I settled that, and it's a beautiful story that you can find in my book, life became easier for all of us, but relationships became stronger for all of us as well. I really just made it a point to start developing a relationship with my mother at that point, something that we had never had before. Now, I was away from home and I couldn't visit her every day, but I would pick up the phone and call her, and we started establishing a relationship. And I can tell you, I walked my mother to Heaven's Gate years ago, and it was something that I wouldn't take anything for. But I know that I have no regrets now that she has gone on to be with the Lord. I have no regrets because I reestablished a relationship, and it was something that just thrilled her heart as a mother. I know that if you are a mother today and you have an estranged child, it is a burden to you. And if you are one of those estranged children, I know it's a burden to you as well. So I would encourage you this Mother's Day, make amends. Make amends, because there is still time if your mother is living. Once she is gone, that time has passed. So make amends. Every mother is unique. And we're going to see a video coming up in just a few moments about just how unique they are. Don't go away. We'll be right back after the short break.
You're watching Just Ask Joyce, where real life and family values connect. Just Ask Joyce is brought to you by Guaranteed Total Construction, Window World, Nans and Crafts Florists, Squire Boone Caverns, and About Face Spa and Salon.
And thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Joyce Oglesby, your Family Life Fix-It Pro. I want to go straight to the email from the Window World email bag today. We have lots to talk about. Joyce, I'm struggling. My daughters aren't speaking to one another. They haven't for years. My youngest has her life together. My oldest has made some poor choices in life, and unfortunately, some of those directly affected her sister. They tolerate being in the same room at holidays, but there is no relationship there. My grandkids don't even get to enjoy each other. I want nothing more for Mother's Day than for the two of them to make up. How do I make that happen? Well, let me tell you, you can't. Mom, you don't get to make that happen, all right? This is a struggle between siblings, and I know it breaks your heart, but I can tell you, you're not in the boat alone. Let me just tell you that there's an Oakland University survey that I think you'll find very interesting here. 26% of families are supportive of one another. 26, I think that's a very small number. 19% have an apathetic relationship. 16% a hostile relationship, and 39% limited contact and are highly competitive. Don't you find that very interesting? I do. So, Mom, I'm just going to tell you this. This is an email that I will have to address with you in further detail because there are a lot of gaps here and some questions that I'm going to ask you so that I can further help you. But here's kind of a nutshell answer for you. Number one, I would suggest to you to write a letter and make a call. Write a letter and make a call. Now, how do you do that? Well, you're going to write a letter and spill your heart out to them about how you are feeling as a mom and the things that they are missing and what the grandkids are missing. And then after they've had time to get the letter and digest it, then you pick up the phone and say, did you get my letter? Can we talk about this for just a moment? And you engage in a conversation. Just say, I don't want this to be confrontational. I want it to just, let's talk about this. Number two, I want you to be the mother. All right, you be the mother. That is your job, to love these girls unconditionally. And so you example for them how that looks, because that's the beauty of a family. Families have unconditional love for one another. That is why you might not can depend on your friends or others, your co-workers or whatever, but you can always depend on family, or you should be able to. And I know that that is not the norm in America anymore or in our culture across the world, but that is how God designed it, is that is an unconditional love. So you be the mom. Then I'm going to tell you, don't talk smack. This is going to be so important, Mom. Don't talk smack. Like if one of the daughters engages in conversation that's negative about the other one, you don't engage in that. You don't even go along with it like you agree with it at all. You bring up something positive and just inject that. That's going to be very important for you. Just try to reverse that negative into something good. And then I want you to talk forgiveness. I want you to talk that up all the time. Relate a story where you had to forgive someone one time and it was a very difficult thing to do, but that you have to do that, and talk about how short time is here on earth. They don't have time to bicker and fight because they're losing so much, and so are these grandkids. And then I'm going to tell you to suggest a counselor that maybe both of them would agree upon. Or if they don't agree upon that, then tell them, all right, you pick a counselor and you pick a counselor and we'll go to both. But suggest that. And I will be in prayer for you that this will get resolved, because I can tell you it is a heart struggle. But you be the mom. And I know that you would love nothing more for Mother's Day than to have this happen. But this is their problem, Mom. You're not going to be able to rectify it. But forgiveness is a huge factor. And once they can forgive and repent, one needs to forgive, the other needs to repent, then they can move on. And I will pray that that happens. We'll be back after this short break with a wonderful little video for you I think you're going to find very interesting about the uniqueness of moms. It's a Pandora salute to moms. You're going to love it. Don't go away. A special Mother's Day program just for you from Just Ask Joyce. I'm your Family Life Fix-It Pro. You can visit me, justaskjoyce.com, for other resources there, and pick up my Getting Past the Past book while you're there. It's really a great story of overcoming and overriding difficult childhoods that some of us do have. Now, I want to do a special salute and thank you to Pandora. I know that many of you probably wear some Pandora jewelry, and I have one that my daughter gave me, and I have started. I didn't wear it today, but they have a wonderful salute to moms. It talks about it shows you the uniqueness of moms. And I just have to share that with you today because you know what? We all know our moms. There's an instinct within us that I think that we could recognize them anywhere, but there are things that we remember about them. And I want to just share this little video with you, and I hope you find it as enjoyable as I did when I discovered it. And thank you again to Pandora.
Twisting vines of time, you're in their grasp. A staircase to climb, breathing in gasps. The wind only knows what happened to me. I know you're a rose trapped beneath the sea. This I know, I'll never let you down. This I know, I'll never let you down. Bruises on all the trees, echoing sound. If you're down on your knees for the final count, this I know, I'll never let you down.
Do you just love that? I'm like, if that doesn't just melt your heart, I don't know, you better check it because you might be dead. It is just precious. But did you see the pensiveness in those children? Like, am I going to pick the right mom? And did you see almost the pensiveness in the moms? Like, oh, are they going to pick me? But was it just heartwarming that every child picked their mom blindfolded? I just love that. Moms are unique. We offer something to our children that no one else can. No one else can match what we do for our children. And they know it. There is this bond that just is inseparable. And I can tell you, whether you've been estranged from your mom for a while, there is still the tug at your heart. I know there is, for you to reunite. There is still a tug in your heart, Mom, if you've been estranged from a child. I know that. So I would encourage you again, make amends with your mom. It's Mother's Day and it's a perfect time to do that. But I believe that every day is Mother's Day. We'll be back after this short break. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a quick show, but I could not let you go. I bet you wondered where the flowers were. Well, I kind of saved them for a surprise for you. As unique as mothers are, let me just tell you that Nansen Craft will make every bouquet unique for you. Look at this tremendous bouquet. Is it just amazing? All right, let me just help you. Of course, we know this is ivy. We know these are tulips. We know these red peonies here are just absolutely to die for. And of course the hydrangea, which is just one of my favorites. But look at these. They're called Sarcina lilies, and they are beautiful. They are so flexible and durable. I mean, you could just touch them and put them back in, but they are just absolutely amazing. Now, what you can do is call Nansen Craft and go ahead and get a jump on Mother's Day, because you should, all right? I just love their care for you. We've been dealing with Nansen Craft. They did both of our daughters' weddings, and they were amazing. So we've been dealing with them now for about 24 years, and I have just loved every occasion they've ever adorned our house with, or our occasion. But I loved it the other day because they picked up the phone and they called me and said, Joyce, you know, we've sent Maxine, which is Webby's mom, flowers every year on Mother's Day, and we just thought maybe you might want to go ahead and get a jump on that this year as well. I was so touched because life gets busy sometimes, and I honestly had not even thought about picking up the phone. And they did that, and I'm like, you know what, they're in assisted living now, so can I send them there instead? Of course. I gave them the address. It's all done, taken care of ahead of time. But that was for me. They did that for me. They're a valued customer, and I wouldn't take anything for that. So you pick up the phone, call Nansen Craft today, and adorn your mom. Look, they've got plant scrubbers. You can just check out on their website some of the things that they have. I just love some of their potted plants, or some of the ones with the little bird feeders in them. I just love it all. You have so much to choose from. Visit their website, nansencraft.com. Call them 502-897-6551, 897-6551. And just remember again, I know this is just breathtaking, isn't it? I just love it. This is going home with me today. I'm going to be selfish. I usually try and give it away to somebody, but this one's mine. But make sure that you take care of your mom. And again, how many times have I said it on this show? How many times? If you are estranged from your mom, if you have not treated your mom with respect and dignity that she deserves, make amends. Would you? Make it start right now for Mother's Day. You could just start a whole new chapter in your life with your mom, and you will thrill her. I can tell you, every mom wants a relationship with their children. And I know we grow older, we get involved in our own lives. We tend to forget mom and dad. Dads are important too. We tend to forget them. But they will wait, and they will wait until you are ready. That's just kind of how it is with moms. We love our kids, but we so desperately want to hear from you. So make sure that you do that today. Happy Mother's Day to you if you're a mom. Join me next time for another show of Just Ask Joyce, where real life and family values connect. And in the meantime, I'm in battle for his cause.